Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready, because we've got some absolutely massive news shaking up the crypto world today, and it's all about XRP. If you're holding XRP or have been watching it from the sidelines, you're going to want to hear this. The price has been on an absolute tear, soaring over 20% in just the last 24 hours. And there's a very good reason why. It seems the moment we've all been waiting for might finally be just around the corner. The potential launch of a spot XRP ETF in the United States. So what's causing all this excitement? It all started with some eagle-eyed observers spotting a new listing on the website of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, or DTCC. For those who don't know, the DTCC is a critical piece of financial market infrastructure in the U.S. They provide the clearing, settlement, and information services for the vast majority of securities transactions. Essentially, when you buy or sell stocks, bonds, or ETFs, the DTCC is working behind the scenes to make sure everything goes smoothly. Getting a product listed on their site is a huge necessary step before it can be traded on the open market. And guess what appeared on their site? A listing for an XRP trust filed by BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. The ticker symbol? iShares XRP Trust. The moment this news hit social media, the market went into a frenzy. We saw a massive green candle shoot up on the XRP chart, breaking past key resistance levels like 70 cents and pushing towards 80 cents. The trading volume exploded, indicating a huge influx of buying pressure. Why is this such a big deal? Well, a spot ETF is a game changer. Unlike futures ETFs, a spot ETF has to buy and hold the actual underlying asset, in this case, XRP. This means that for every share of the ETF that an investor buys, the fund manager, BlackRock, would have to go out and buy real XRP on the open market. Imagine the demand this would create. We're talking about opening up XRP investment to a massive new pool of capital. Everyday investors, institutional players, and wealth managers who might be hesitant to buy crypto directly from an exchange could now get exposure to XRP through a traditional, regulated brokerage account, just like buying a share of Apple or Tesla. This would not only legitimize XRP in the eyes of mainstream finance, but also potentially create a massive and sustained demand shock. We saw what happened with Bitcoin when similar spot ETF rumors started swirling. The price went on an incredible run, and many believe this is just the beginning. Now, it looks like XRP might be next in line to get the ETF treatment. However, let's take a step back and add a note of caution. Shortly after the initial news broke, some reports came out suggesting the DTCC listing might have been a false alarm or a mistake. Some sources even claimed the listing was removed, and there was some confusion about whether it was officially filed by BlackRock. This caused a bit of a pullback in the price, as you'd expect. The market got a little spooked. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The listing is reportedly back on the DTCC website. This back and forth has created a ton of volatility and speculation. Is it real? Is it a test? Is someone playing games? What we do know is that the idea of a BlackRock XRP ETF is no longer just a fantasy. The fact that it appeared on the DTCC website at all, even if there's confusion around it, signals that these conversations are happening at the highest levels. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has recently become much more bullish on crypto, calling it a flight to quality. For them to be considering an XRP ETF makes perfect sense, especially after Ripple's landmark partial victory against the SEC earlier this year, which provided much-needed legal clarity for XRP in the United States. The court ruled that programmatic sales of XRP on exchanges did not constitute investment contracts, a huge win for Ripple and the entire crypto industry. This legal clarity is the key. Without it, a major institution like BlackRock would likely never touch XRP. But with that hurdle cleared, the path is now open. Think about it. XRP is one of the few digital assets in the US with this level of legal clarity. This makes it a prime candidate for a spot ETF, right after Bitcoin. The infrastructure is there, the demand is there, and now the legal framework is becoming clearer. Let's look at the bigger picture. We currently have 5 different funds listed under the active and pre-launched categories on the DTCC platform. This indicates that we're not just talking about one potential fund, but a whole wave of them could be coming. The general market sentiment is already incredibly positive. The SEC has been taking a softer stance recently, choosing not to appeal the grayscale ruling, which was a major victory for the crypto industry's push for a spot Bitcoin ETF. It seems the regulatory tide is turning, and the question is no longer if we'll get a spot crypto ETF, but when and which ones. The potential timeline is what has everyone so excited. Some analysts believe we could see the first spot XRP ETFs launch as early as next week. If the DTCC listing is finalized and the SEC gives the green light, we could be on the verge of a historic moment for XRP. This isn't just about a short-term price pump. This is about long-term adoption and integration into the traditional financial system. An ETF provides a regulated, secure, and easy way for millions of people and institutions to invest in XRP, fundamentally changing its market dynamics forever. So what does this mean for you as an investor? First, always remember that the crypto market is incredibly volatile. This news is exciting, but it's also based on developing information. Things can change quickly. It's crucial to do your own research and not make decisions based on hype alone. That said, the underlying fundamentals for XRP are looking stronger than they have in a long time. The legal clarity from the SEC case, combined with the very real possibility of a spot ETF from a giant like BlackRock, creates a powerful bullish narrative. We're witnessing a pivotal moment. The convergence of legal victories, institutional interest, and positive market sentiment is creating the perfect storm for XRP. If these ETF filings are legitimate and get approved, the current price action could be just the beginning of a much larger move. We could see a retest of previous all-time highs and a push into new price discovery territory. The floodgates of institutional capital could be about to open, and XRP is positioned right at the entrance. This is definitely a story to watch closely over the coming days and weeks. The crypto market never sleeps, and this news is proof of that. The cat is out of the bag, and the idea of an XRP ETF is now planted in the minds of every trader and institution. Even if this specific filing faces delays, the precedent has been set. The demand is undeniable. It's an exciting time to be in the crypto space, and the next chapter for XRP is just beginning to be written. What are your thoughts on all this? Do you think the BlackRock XRP ETF is happening? What's your price prediction if it gets approved? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you got any value from this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. We'll be tracking this story every step of the way, and you won't want to miss our next update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.